And last but not least is 1440 in partnership with Weave. Good morning, it's Wednesday, August 12th, and we are covering Biden's VP pick, more details on the Russian vaccine, and unrest in Belarus. Need to know, Biden picks Harris. Maybe it was Biden. Maybe it was Biden's handlers that told him he was picking Harris. You know, just saying. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden ended months of speculation, selecting California Senator Kamala Harris as his vice presidential running mate. Harris, who began as the early favorite, becomes the first Black and South Asian woman on a presidential ticket for a major party. The daughter of two immigrants, her mother is Indian, her father Jamaican, Harris previously served as California Attorney General before being elected to the Senate. The pick was generally lauded by many in the party, though some progressive Democrats have criticized Harris for her tough-on-crime stance as a prosecutor. Because being tough on crime is a bad thing. The selection comes ahead of the presidential conventions. Both Democrats and Republicans are going almost entirely virtual. The Democratic convention will begin Monday, while the Republican convention will be held the following week, August 24th through 27th. The schedule is still being developed, though President Trump is set to formally accept the nomination Thursday, August 27th. Despite the anticipation, conventional wisdom says the vice presidential pick has a fairly limited effect, 2016 analysis, on the election. Well, in this case, it might be a negative effect. Russia unveils unproven vaccine. Russia became the first country to grant regulatory approval for a potential vaccine against the coronavirus. President Vladimir Putin announced yesterday. Oh, that was a comma. Against the coronavirus, President Vladimir Putin announced yesterday. Despite the announcement, experts warn the country has not actually confirmed a successful vaccine due to the lack of clinical trials. Vaccines typically go through 3 phases of testing prior to approval. The first, less than 100 people, focuses on safety and side effects, while the second, 100 to 300 people, examines safety and effectiveness. In the case of SARS-CoV-2, it studies whether the drugs spur the production of virus-neutralizing antibodies. The third phase, which involves thousands of participants, provides a statistical demonstration of a vaccine's efficacy and broad safety. Per reports, Russian regulators granted approval before the Phase 3 trial began and are planning a mass vaccination campaign in the fall during which patients will be tracked. Oh my goodness. At least 8 other vaccines around the world are currently in Phase 3 trials. Putin's own daughter received the shot. Another surprise is Putin rarely acknowledges he has children. At least one of which he's willing to use as a guinea pig before he takes the plunge himself. Separately, the U.S. has reported 5.14 million total cases, with 164,537 deaths, allegedly, as of this morning. See rolling averages of new cases and deaths. Opposition candidate flees Belarus. The main opposition candidate in the Belarus election, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, has fled the country for Lithuania, according to reports yesterday. Tikhanovskaya. The move comes amid increasingly violent protests in the Eastern European country, which erupted after Sunday's elections. Rife with allegations of voter fraud and election interference, the election resulted in 80% of the vote granting a 6th term to authoritarian President Alexander Lukashenko, nicknamed Europe's last dictator. Oh, really? What about Putin? I know Russia is mostly in Asia, but it's also in Europe, so why is that not his? Hundreds of demonstrators protesting have been detained, with police using stun grenades, rubber bullets, and tear gas against the crowd. European Union officials said they would consider sanctions against the country, while the Belarusian government blocked the country's internet access to slow protest organizers. Tikhanovskaya was a fascinating, though accidental, candidate. The 37-year-old stay-at-home mother and former English teacher stood in for her opposition candidate husband after his arrest. She rapidly gained popularity, drawing tens of thousands of supporters at rallies, with some fans comparing her to a modern-day Joan of Arc. Interesting. By yesterday, videos surfaced of Tikhanovskaya calling on protesters to accept the results, at least one of which may have been made under duress. Huh. Even from Lithuania? Or maybe it was made before she fled. Communicate with your customers with Weave. In the world of business today, there's no rule, that we can think of at least, so important as delight your customers. I've never heard it put quite that way. Give them free shipping, or send them little gifts, or write them nice emails. We know a thing or two about that. And above all, communicate with your customers actively to keep them happy. While that may have been no small task in the past, Weave Light is making a customer communication easier and easier. Weave Light. Okay. Is making customer communication easier and easier every day. Regardless of the size of your business, you can now easily reach the people who keep the lights on. Weave Light combines 4 incredibly useful tools to make the entire customer lifecycle seamless and delightful, from text messaging to team chat to Google review collection to text to pay. It's all bundled up nicely in one product for your ease and your customers' benefit. So give Weave Light a try today. They know that COVID-19 has affected businesses of all sizes across the world, so they're offering a free 3-month trial for anyone who signs up. Your customers await. Get started today. Please support our sponsors. In the know. Sports, entertainment, and culture. Big Ten and Pac-12 conferences officially announced they are postponing college football and other fall sports. The Spring League, a developmental professional football league, to host a 6-team tournament in a bubble in Las Vegas. Never heard of that. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air drama reboot, co-produced by Will Smith's Westbrook Studios and Universal TV in the works. Drama reboot. Raymond Allen, 70s sitcom star best known for Sanford and Son and Good Times, dies at 91. Portland Timbers top Orlando City 2-1 to win MLS's back tournament. MLS regular season resumes today. Science and technology. Molecule inspired by llamas shown to be one of the most potent anti-coronavirus compounds to date. Known as nanobodies, the molecule could potentially be aerosolized and administered via inhalation. Llamas. Inspired by llamas? Strange. Google to establish a global earthquake monitoring program using the accelerometer in Android-powered phones. Users would opt in to the voluntary project. That sounds pretty cool. It's just another thing that Google is going to be in control of, though. Google's pretty scary. New process converts red pigment in bricks into plastic that conducts electricity, allowing common bricks to be used as energy storage devices. Neato. Business and markets, brought to you by Masterworks. U.S. stock markets down, S&P 500 down 0.8%, Dow down 0.4%, NASDAQ down 1.7% as uncertainty grows over stimulus deal. Fucking Democrats, man. Japanese tech giant SoftBank reports $12 billion quarterly profit following largest loss ever in first quarter. Sources say Airbnb plans to file IPO by end of August, Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs to lead the offering. Tesla announces 5-to-1 stock split. Shares surge 6% in after-hours trading. We're straight shooters, so let's talk numbers. Did you know that blue chip art has outperformed the S&P by 180% since 2000, according to Citi? Masterworks is an exclusive platform that lets you invest in art at a fraction of the normal price. Skip the 25,000 waitlist now. Politics and world affairs. Election 2020. Progressive Democrat Representative Ilhan Omar fends off primary challenge. Boo. Businesswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene beats neurosurgeon John Cowan in Georgia 14 Republican primary. Greene has drawn criticism for supporting QAnon conspiracy. Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best to step down September 2nd. Decision follows Monday vote by City Council to trim police department by 100 officers via layoffs and attrition. A lot of those are minority officers. And Carmen Best is a black woman, and yet that's who's being squeezed out. Because Black Lives Matter. New Zealand reports 4 locally transmitted coronavirus cases, breaking 102-day streak without infections. All-in-one communication, in partnership with Weave. Weave Light. Thinks choosing one customer communication product will hurt your business in the long run? You need breadth to keep your customers engaged. So they've combined text messaging, text to pay, team chat, Google review collection. And now you can take advantage of their 3-month free trial period to make sure it's a fit for your business. Click here to get started today. Please support our sponsors. Etc. A derecho left 1 million without power in the Midwest Monday. Here's how they form. I've never heard of that. Derecho. Where the next billion internet users will come from. Mars. How the panic will shape the holiday shopping season. It's claws out in the hard seltzer wars. Photographer finds 120-year-old time capsule, develops the photos. Now you can Airbnb the lone surviving Blockbuster. There's a lone surviving Blockbuster? Awesome. The heartwarming tale of Swoop the Magpie. Massive snake found slithering through the New York City subway. Awesome. Clickbait. Gen Z twins left stunned by Phil Collins in the air tonight. Okay. History book. Egyptian Queen Cleopatra dies by suicide, 30 BC. Rest in peace, James Bond creator Ian Fleming, 1964. IBM personal computer is released, 1981. Largest ever Tyrannosaurus Rex discovered, 1990. Rest in peace, Hollywood icon Lauren Bacall, 2014. Imagination is the highest kite one can fly, Lauren Bacall. That's nice. Okie dokie. That's it for Sundry News. Thank you and good night.